There appears to be a repeat problem like that one of Onyancha. And I wanted to comment on that. The Quarry case appears to be another Onyancha. We have had, I think there are three, but this one resembles more of Onyancha case than the other one, which was it Bwire? Bwire is the person who went to Kajiado, went to Nakuru, anything. The fellow who came from somewhere in Bungoma, and he was arrested. When he was arrested, he somehow escaped from the police station and went to his home area. I think the home area people are the ones who coordinated and had him arrested, and they should even be thanked, because in many cases you find that people who commit offenses elsewhere, they go to their home areas, their home area people cover them and say, after all, he never wronged people from here. Bwire's case is a bit different from these other two. The Quarry one resembles mostly towards Onyancha. For those of you who have been Lenana area, Lenana, Riruta, Ngando area, you'll find that there's a place called Onyancha Road next to the new school, Lenana Primary School, the primary school which was started because of the incident that kids had in a private school in Ngando. So Onyancha used to, he targeted women and used to kill women, and he killed over a long time. I think it was 20 years ago when Onyancha was doing that. I recently went to past that place, I think 4 months ago, and I've even recorded Onyancha place, and it is now so open that women or anybody else can pass without any fear of bodily harm. Now this one is also happening where a lot of things is similar to Onyancha. And this is where I blame the DCI and NIS. I want to talk on it purely from my experience and say that this thing should have stopped with Onyancha. But then it had happened another 20 years later, which is unfair. Before I indulge into that, I want to say it is unfair also of the Nation Media Group to start coming up with theories. It has even led people to start saying that maybe this person was bought to accept that so as to cover the police. They always say that in a case, in any crime scene, there are only three people who know what happened. The first person is the criminal. The second person is the victim or victims. And this second person, unfortunately for this instance, they are dead. And the third person who knows this is Almighty God. So most of us, from where we are, we try to find the truth. Now, for a media house like Nation to suddenly come up and start poking in holes until the criminal now has said that he was forced to sign those things. I know such a case will take a long time, and this criminal will be taken to remand. And then also the 2010 constitution, I've never liked it. I prefer 2005. The 2010 constitution, which was pushed a lot by human rights activists, has changed our system so much that this criminal will now go to prison, spend there 4 or 5 years, will get their legal aids who are either co-prisoners or something. We have even some NGOs which will go to inside the prison. And if they'll cook a very big story that after 7 years, this person will be released for lack of evidence. Yes, this person who is going to commit has a civil right, but he has his life. The person or persons he killed had the civil rights, and he terminated them, and they will never walk, and they'll never talk. So, if we have to sympathize with anybody, we have to sympathize with the person killed and her people, her loved ones. Now, let us go back to ONYANCHA case. I would have expected NIS and DCI to have profiled him the way he was in prison. And that is why we have almost a billion. Just remember, you know that every sub-county, I don't think there is a sub-county with 3 NIS people. But in a sub-county, we have a DCI with about a dozen police officers under him or her. A DCI. But then NIS is only one person. But you find the budget of NIS is not equivalent to DCI. It is equivalent to the National Police Service. These are the things. The NIS should recruit people in jail. Should recruit people in jail to collect intelligence from fellow prisoners. You have money. 800 million, 800 billion is not little money. So that these people give you credible. And we are not interested in this man. I don't know what his name is. And we are not interested in ONYANCHA because he can die tomorrow, isn't it? ONYANCHA can die tomorrow. The important thing is the psychology. How were these people brought up? You'll not be surprised that you'll find some men may have been sodomized by their stepfathers, something like that. You know, I'm I'm embarrassed to talk these things. So profiling, get some good prisoners there, have them interview these people, let them explain how they grew up. I mean, just a person waking up one day and deciding that he, 1 minute and he's sweet talking to a beautiful lady, the other minute he's killing her, the other minute he's anakatakata yeye kama vile mtu anakatakata nini kwa butchery. These are things, this is a mentality that we should have. Even these people who are studying criminology at the PhD level, they should be allowed to enter the prison and talk to those people and try to understand why. And then, is this problem prevalent? This problem prevalent? That is where we can only do. But then when we start poking in holes and whatever, and that is why even in law, it is said that when there is a case before court, we don't discuss. Now you see, you have made the person start. I'm not trying to say that he's the one or anything, but we should comment in such a way that we allow the investigators ample time to find out what really happened. For something like that to have happened, imagine. I'm a Luhya, and Luhya, we believe that dead people do come to us in dreams. Even in the JI-TENGE family, we have had several cases. One of them, my nephew called Simon JI-TENGE. We have had these cases, and we know how dead people can communicate to living people. So now, if this lady who died did not communicate, this fellow would have been going on. So we should have that book, that where we just, and then the 800 billion can be used or to make a syllabus whereby not to make a syllabus in schools so that people can be taught to forego such things. And again, the 800 billion can be used. The 800 billion can also be used to to go into huko mashinani. They go to those places and try to see the telltale signs of those people. For example, such a person, you'll find is a very quiet person. He doesn't talk to people. He doesn't allow anybody to go to his house. He goes to the house, let's say at 8:30, and by 5:30 he's out of the house. If he finds you seated next to his house, he becomes very much annoyed. So such things, characterization, eh, profiling of people so that we know a person who's potentially to do that. Those are my few points that I felt I should share with people. Because even when I was still in the intelligence, we used to push that, even though, because I was a provincial intelligence, so I was a provincial desk officer in charge of intelligence. I was a provincial desk officer in charge of intelligence, and I was a provincial desk officer in charge of intelligence. I'm a criminal intelligence, and I used to push for, and it happened even after I'd left. I was pushing for the CID, which today is now DCI, to have its own intelligence arm, which could be doing the intelligence. And I remember there are some people um, like Lubisia and others who were taken out of the NIS specifically to the DCI to start the, what we used to call it, CIU, Criminal Intelligence Unit. So we should, with the desk officers for criminal intelligence in NIS, and the people, the personnel in the Criminal Intelligence Unit, CIU, I don't know whether they have changed their name, should be so much quicker in characterizing people to an extent that they can tell, they can quickly pick up a disturbed person before he starts carrying out his murderous intention. Thank you, and thank you, Alex.